Rev up your engines!
Well, just like when there's a hurricane coming, everybody in the town buys everything. There's nothing on the shelves. Now people are doing it with cars. The U.S. vehicle supply is falling because of the tariff fear-buying. They're worried about the tariffs coming, so they're buying cars before it affects anything. Supplies of both new and used vehicles are declining rapidly. The day supply of new vehicles, which was at 91 days at the beginning of March, is now only 70 days. It's quite a bit less, right? And of course, the prices are going up too. Even in used cars, they're already up over 7%. It's only 39 days supply of used cars. 39 days is pretty low. It means if people bought the used cars are out there in 39 days, there wouldn't be any left, right? The tariffs are affecting many things. If you saw, it looks like a bunch of foreign investors are getting out of U.S. bonds. They don't trust the U.S. dollar now. You start shaking things up. There's unforeseen circumstances when you start shaking up the economic system. And let's face the facts. Many people are fools. I never forget when I was in Houston and hurricanes coming. They would buy all the water. It's like, water? Really? Now, the only time in Houston we ever lost water, and I lived there for 45 years, was when it froze. It froze for like a week in a row, and the pipes froze. You couldn't get any water. I never ran out of water during a hurricane, right? I mean, why would you go out and buy all this water? You could fill your bathtub, you could fill stuff ahead of time. Why would you go out and buy it? Just plain stupidity, but that's people, you know? Just like coronavirus. They all went out and bought toilet paper. You couldn't get any toilet paper. You know, what's with that, right? People are strange. They're like sheep. Bah, bah, here they go. They're all going, bah, bah, follow them. Now the sheep are buying new and used cars because they're afraid they're going to cost more. People, listen, you overreact to this crap. You need to just sit back and be calm about it, right? You're thinking about getting a car. Or maybe you got an old car and you're not really thinking, but always keep your eyes on. You never know. Somebody might pass away. Somebody becomes so old they can't drive anymore. You get a good old car. It's got low mileage on it. Hey, always keep your eyes out because the last thing you want is your car, the engine blows. You got to buy a car. You rush into it. You pay too much. You get the wrong deal. No. Always keep your eyes out. You never know what you're going to run into. And don't go into this panic buying that these fools are going into. Well, how are the automakers responding to Trump's tariffs? Well, here's what we know so far. Audi is stopping all imports in the United States. I guess they think, well, we won't send them in there. We don't have to pay the tariff. Yes, then people won't buy them. Kind of cutting their own throats there. BMW confirmed that they will cover any tariffs on the ones that they have that are made in Mexico. A lot of them are made in Mexico, right? By the way, the quality stinks. I wouldn't buy one anyway. Chrysler's pausing production of the Pacifica and Voyagers, the only two vehicles they make, the minivans, because they're made in Canada. They're all made in Windsor, Ontario. Kind of interesting. The only car that Chrysler makes anymore is made in Canada. The Dodge electric Charger Daytona that's made in Windsor, Ontario is going to have a production stoppage for a while. The ones that they're making in Canada. I mean, who's buying these electric Chargers anyways? They can't give them away, right? Ferrari says they're raising the price of theirs by 10%. Well, most of us don't give a rat's behind about that anyway. Now, GM hasn't announced any price increases or anything, but they have officially announced that they're increasing production of light-duty Silverado and Sierras in the Fort Wayne, Indiana factory. They're going to make a little bit more here. They still make a lot of stuff in Mexico and Canada. Genesis and Hyundai said they're not going to raise prices at least for the next 2 months. Honda says that they're going to try to build more Hondas in the United States. They already have a bunch of factories here. And they might be thinking about relocating some of its factories in Canada and Mexico to the United States, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that. Jaguar and Land Rover, on the other hand, have stopped importing cars into the United States. Do we really care? No. Most of us don't. Jeep says they're offering employee pricing to everyone. And of course, realize that the Compass compact SUV and the electric Wagoneer S are made in Mexico. Like nobody's buying those Wagoneers at that price. That doesn't really affect many people either. Mazda hasn't announced any changes. Mercedes-Benz says they're going to absorb all the tariff costs in 2025 models for an undisclosed time. Now, Nissan says they've lowered their price on two of their best-selling models, the Rogue SUV and the 3-row Pathfinder. Subaru says they're not going to increase price. And Toyota hasn't even said anything about tariffs. They haven't had any plans at all. Now, Volkswagen, according to the Germans, is pausing all U.S. imports. They make a lot of Volkswagens here in the United States, too, so. And Volvo says they're removing the S90 sedan from their lineup after the 2025 model year. They're not selling that many of them anyways. Well, the CBP says the latest tariffs have only generated $500 million profit, well below what Trump said. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection said that in the last few days, they've collected $500 million in the tariffs, right? Well, Trump's saying it's $2 billion a day. They said that the average that they took was $250 million. No way they're going to get $2 billion. We're just paying this money. You know, people just make stuff up. We're going to get all this money. You're getting some money, but the customs collects it. That's how it's done. They collect it, right? And they say that they're averaging about $250 million a day, not $2 billion. Well, that is a big difference. That's like 10 times less, practically. If it's instated for any length of time, people will find a way to cheat to go around it. They'll go through a different country or this or that, come up and then say that a box full of cars is actually a box full of bananas, right? And if nobody checks it, like in L.A., something like less than 2% of the cargo containers are even inspected by anybody. Hey, there's so many loopholes, this can make your head spin. Now, you have to believe the customs because they're the ones who collect it. And this is what they say they've collected. They handle money in, right? It's not going to be the cash cow that people think it is, but it's working out to be kind of a negative cash cow. All the billions, maybe even trillions of stock markets money's been lost and companies that are going bankrupt because now they're not selling these cars, they're not building them, and the people that supply the parts to them, they're losing their jobs. It's turning into kind of a gigantic, crazy mess. Well, Ram's new CEO, Tim Kuniskis, he's bringing back the old Ram, right? They're talking about bringing Hemis, even bigger Hemis back in, big monster trucks and vehicles that Americans want, and forget the electrification of it that Americans don't seem to want. He said they're going to build a whole bunch, up to 20 new vehicles that they aren't making. Presently, Ram only has about 10 different products for sale. Of course, it could be worse. Their sister Chrysler, right? They only make two things. They're both vans, and they're both made in Windsor, Ontario. They're not even made in the United States, so... Now, the Hemis are what people wanted, and they're going to that. They're also looking at a compact truck. Now, there's no words on exactly what compact truck they're going to have, but they have some compact trucks they sell in South America, so I'm assuming it would be built upon that framework, right? Here's what I always say about all these corporations, dead from the neck up. Ford stuck their neck out, and they built the Maverick, a compact truck. They're selling the heck out of them. They made a mistake making them in Mexico. There's quality control problems. They should have made them in the United States, but be that as may, they're still selling a whole bunch of them, right? Now all the dead from the neck up corporation guys are like, we need to build a compact truck too, and they probably will come out with a compact truck. There's a lot of people that don't want a big, giant truck. I don't understand these guys. You know, their heads are so big in these big corporations, they think they know better than anybody else. Guess what? Ask the average American who's thinking of looking at a truck. Yeah, a lot of them want big, giant trucks, but an awful lot of them want smaller trucks for riding around. There's a lot of older, retired people. They want a small truck to go gardening, to get stuff, to, go camping and stuff. They want something like a Ford Maverick that with a hybrid, hey, it can get 40-something miles a gallon. Doing a little actual research of what people want, not forcing these big monstrosities upon people. And even here, what's Ram doing? They're saying, we're going to make big Hemis, big. They still got big on their mind, right? Somebody ought to talk to them about little. They haven't mentioned exactly if they're going to make a compact truck, but they should if they have any brains left. Well, Kia is now pitching an affordable EV sedan with the EV4 debut in the United States. They sold it in other countries. Now they're going to sell it in the United States. And they claim it's going to be around $35,000. Right? They already sell SUVs and stuff that are made in Alabama here in the United States. Little bitty ones, the sedans that are 35, they're still made in Korea. They said, maybe we'll start making them in the United States too. Who knows? But electric cars aren't popular. Sedans are no longer popular in the United States. Let's see, we take two unpopular things, let's put them together and sell them to Americans. I don't think they're going to sell that many of these things, right? They're 35 grand, so they're not dirt cheap, right? Electric truck company that's working out Slate, they said they're going to have an electric pickup truck for 25 grand, right? And the pickup truck's a lot more utilitarian than a sedan. Is this another mistake by Kia bringing this in? Now, here's the thing. It's not like they're redesigning something, right? Well, we're going to build this thing for America. They're already selling them in other countries. They're just going to bring them over here and test the waters. And what the heck? They already have the stupid things, so they might as well just throw them out and see if it plays in Peoria. That's an old expression that if something was popular in Peoria, the middle of the United States, Illinois, then the rest of the country would accept it, right? So if it is accepted, hey, they already got them made in Korea. They're bringing them over here, and they're going to see what happens. You say, I'm not into electric battery cars. I don't think they're ready for prime time at all, right? And $35,000 is still an awful lot of money as far as I'm concerned to buy a toy like that. Hey, 25 grand, a little pickup truck, it would be a lot more possibilities of a reasonable amount of Americans would buy them versus a $35,000 sedan that nobody wants anymore. People don't want sedans. They have the SUVs already made in Alabama, but they cost a lot more than 35 grand, baby. Go price one out. I looked at some around here in Nashville, and they start at like $44,000. So they're not cheap, right? And they're still electric vehicles with all the problems, but they're SUVs, which is what people seem to want. Well, Tesla's first quarter registrations in California fell 15%. And of course, they sell most of the Teslas in California. You know, all the hippy dippies moved out there. But now the hippy dippies don't like Elon anymore because of his political views. They think he's gone insane to the right because they're insane to the left. You know, how about people meeting in the middle? You know, and to give you common sense, like Benjamin Franklin said, everything in moderation. You don't need to go one extreme or the other, right? Well, it's a big deal. Now, of course, a bunch of it would have to do with his political stuff, but a lot of his people, I realize, electric cars are a pain in the butt. And I read last year something like 20% of the people in California who had electric cars said that they were not going to buy another electric car as their next car. They're going to buy a gasoline car or a hybrid gasoline car instead. They just don't like the inconvenience. They don't like the price. And the ones that have been in accidents don't like what it costs to fix them and how long they had to wait to get parts because old Elon doesn't make very many spare parts for his Teslas. So it's not like you got the parts there. If fender gets bashed, there's none lying around. They got to make it. It takes time, right? So a lot of factors are coming together for people to say, Teslas, maybe not, maybe not. And of course, it's showing in the stock. It's starting to go down, down, down. As the saying goes, what goes up must come down. And if there's a lot of stupid reasons behind it, it's going to come down a lot faster than it normally does. Well, here's yet another reason not to buy an electric vehicle. GM is now putting the cheaper LFP batteries in the Chevy Silverado EVs and the new Chevy Bolt. Now, you might think, well, that's good news. They cost less, so the vehicles will cost less. Yes, to some extent, but here's the rub. They've been lying to us all around about electric battery cars because they said as the future goes on, we will get them where they'll be mass-produced, they'll cost less, the batteries will get better, and they'll have longer range. Well, guess what? The LFP batteries have a much smaller range. They have less energy density than the lithium-ion batteries, but they're cheaper to make. So instead of getting in the future, which of course is now, we're never living in the future, we're all living in the present, right? Now it actually exists. You can buy these things, they cost less, but their range is even worse than it was in the first place. A Silverado EV with these LFP batteries, they say they're going to offer, in quotes, 350 miles of range, right? Well, the old ones offered 492 miles of range. But it'll cost $6,000 less. They're overpriced anyway. Nobody's buying these electric Silverados, right? I've had people bring me ones to check out that were 85 grand. That was the list price, and they were going for 65 already, brand new, because nobody was buying them, right? Well, if you go from 492 to 351, it's a lie. They go a lot less than that. That's an empty truck going 30 miles an hour. That's not a loaded, you're pulling something and you're carrying a bunch of weight in the bed. Your mileage is going to go down the toilet. The faster you go, the more you pull, right? So even though they said 482, most people were getting more like 360, and now they're saying the new ones get 350 instead of 492. You know, they're going to get 200 something miles of range. This is why I tell people these electric battery vehicles are not ready for prime time. They promised us, oh, they'll be cheaper as we mass produce them. And yes, they'll go further because the batteries will get better. They have switched to the LFP batteries just because they're cheaper and have a worse range. What a stupid idea. The numero uno problem of battery electric cars is range anxiety. You're worried, am I going to run out of juice? Then I'm stuck. You can't jump start them. Then you got to charge it up, tow it somewhere, right? They're going the wrong direction. Are they getting better? No, they're actually getting worse. Yes, they're somewhat cheaper, but they're worse vehicles. Don't buy one, believe me. Wait. Maybe wait till your grandkids or something learn how to drive. I don't know. Well, for once, I give the Chinese credit. China has now banned smart and autonomous terms from vehicle ads after their Xiaomi crash of their self-driving vehicle. China is now banning automakers from using the terms smart driving and autonomous driving when they advertise driving assistant features. Now, we all know this Tesla and their full self-driving. Why they're still allowed to call it that is absurd. It is not full self-driving. Even the Chinese have more common sense. They're now banning it because they know these things can't drive themselves. They're having wrecks. People are being killed. You can't call it autonomous driving. I agree entirely. Now, it's just an ad, but it's a word that means something. It's saying something that the product actually isn't, like Tesla's full self-driving. It is not full self-driving. And these clowns that have done it have gone in wrecks, smashed into things. It should not even be allowed to be called that. But, you know, hey, what can you do? That's what they call it here, and nobody's stopping in the United States. It takes the Chinese communists to ban advertising saying these things are full self-driving when they actually aren't. So, hey, sometimes strange things come out of countries, even communist China. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.